Alright guys, Melissa here. I dozed off. I was starting to fall asleep and I'm like, shoot, I gotta shower and I gotta get ready for the morning to do stuff. Just want to say something. So I was teaching this morning. This afternoon I was teaching after cleaning. And I have a video up here of this kid giving me a hug. Kids are great guys. My guys don't give me hugs anymore. They're too old, so they don't do that anymore. When they were younger, I don't know, they hit their teen years and they don't even want to be seen with their mom anymore, right? So, it's great to have little kids around me. They just refresh me. And, today was a really good day. I was at a different school. I had a different group of kids, teachers who really work with the kids and they're good with them. So, day and night, guys. Day and night between yesterday's class and today's class. Can you say it's the kids? No. It's how you train kids. It's how you teach them. It's what you tolerate and what you don't tolerate. That is the difference. Don't blame the kids, guys. Blame the teacher. So I was in this classroom. I've been there a lot, and I starting to really get to know these kids. And the kid that last time I played with him and he cried because he lost playing cards. He wanted to play cards with me again, and I'm like, oh no, oh no. Last time you cried, I'm like, I beat you and you cried. He's like, no, I won. I'm like, are you still going on saying you won? Basically, you know you lost. I won. I'm like, you cried. You cried. You cried so bad. When your dad got here, you were still crying. And I just laid it out for him. And he's like, I wasn't crying because I lost. I was crying because this other kid wanted to play and he was supposed to have 9 cards when we play Monster instead of 10. And I'm like, either way you lost. And he's like, I didn't lose. I'm like, yeah, you did. And I go, look, I'll play cards with you, but if you ever cry again like that, I'm not playing cards with you again. So, had a good time playing cards with him. This other little kid was trying to spell his name, and we were playing cards. I don't know what he was doing. He's like, want to play Uno with me? And I'm like, I'm kind of tired of playing cards, but if it's Uno, okay. So, he starts setting the cards up like concentration. And I'm like, what are you doing? I thought we were playing Uno. He's like, this is my game and this is how I play. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, now what? He's like, it's my game. So this is how we play. And all he did was flip a card over. I'm like, well, you got 2 people here, and if you're playing a game, that means I have to play too, and there needs to be some rules. So he was funny, guys. He was cracking me up. He's only 6 years old, and he's like, let me spell my name for you. And I'm thinking, did I ask him to do this? But okay. So he's like, my name is Lojan. And I'm like, you mean G? He goes, no, J. I go, G. He goes, oh yeah, G. I forget. And he's like, G as in, And I'm like, that's N. Why are you saying your G is an N? And he was just cracking me up, guys. He was cracking me up. And just, I get so refreshed being around kids. And I tell them stories about my childhood. I was telling these girls about all kinds of things, but I was telling them about when I walked to the store in Suncook, and there was this, I was walking to the store. I was probably, what, 5 or 6, back in the day when you could send your kids to the store, right? And this red car pulled over, and this guy got out, and he had an old man mask on. And I was telling these girls about it, and they're like, oh my goodness, those masks are creepy. Did it have blood on it? I go, no, they didn't have blood on it, but it scared me, and I picked up a rock, and I was gonna fight. And guys, I was a fighter since I've been young. Telling this story reminds me too of myself. Like I had picked up this rock ready to defend myself, and I'm pretty sure it was my Uncle Bill. I'm pretty sure it was. It was 2 guys cracking up, taking off a mask, laughing because they scared me to death. You wouldn't get away with that now, but back then that is one thing that happened. And so, it was so funny to see the expression on this girl's face. And then then I was telling them about how, this girl's like, oh, I have a friend and I don't know if she's going to remember who I am. I haven't seen her. And I'm like, oh, I had that happen. I had a friend when I was in school. We were best friends in Suncook, and her name was Judy. And we moved, and I never saw her again. And then when we went to high school together, she was in one of my classes. I said, so you'll probably see her again in school. And I said, but I was mad at that friend for a while. And they're like, why? And I said, because I was mad at my mother, and I said I was going to run away, and I didn't mean it. I was just mad. And so my mother was packing my bags and my suitcase and help me pack to leave. And their faces were just like, and it was just so funny. So but one of the girls was cracking me up because she's like, wait a minute, how old were you when this happened? And I'm like, oh, probably about 6. What year was that? I'm like, well, I was 5 or 6, so it was probably about 1975. And she was like a total detective. And she's like, and how old was your mother when she packed your bags? And I'm like, let me see. She was probably about 25 or so, I'm thinking, or probably a little younger. And so she was like a total detective. I'm like, why? Were you wondering if like my mother matured or something? Because she's like, well, how old is she now? And she was just so detailed oriented about the whole event. She wanted to know every little detail that happened. And I'm like, why are you asking this? And she's like, oh, I'm just asking just for no reason, really. So I'm watching her ask me these detailed questions like a detective, and then she says she has no reason to ask. So these girls were cracking me up. I laughed so much. One girl said she's bringing a picture to school of her mom's surgery. I'm like, why don't you bring a picture to school of your parents' wedding? And this boy's like, that would be totally inappropriate, bringing a picture of their wedding because they'd be kissing. And this girl's like, yeah, I can't wait until I get married to kiss. And these kids, guys, I mean, they know so much. They know so much at a young age. And they're city kids, so they grow up really fast. But man, I had so much fun with them. And we did have just one kid who wasn't listening, just one. And this teacher was really good with him. She was just like, I already told you to not do that. And he kept doing it. And she goes, he won't listen to me, so I'm just going to let him self-destruct and tell his mom. I go, hey, we got a picture of you doing that. He jumped so quick and changed his behavior like that. I'm like, yep, the picture's going to your mom. And he just totally changed. He totally changed. But the funny thing is, his mom came in, and he's a good kid. He's a super good kid. But for some reason today, he just was really pushing the boundaries. And the mom came in, and she made him apologize to us. And he came up to me, and he said, I am sorry that I was not listening. So not only a sorry, but very specific for what he was doing. And I listened to him, and I looked him in the eyes, and I said, I forgive you. So I didn't just say it's okay. I actually used those words with him and said, I forgive you. And I also had brought up prayer at one point with the kids too. I'm really trying to witness in the schools with these kids. And, they need hope. They need hope like all of us do. And the funny thing is, kind of like the mother came up to us too, and she is really sweet. She's a super sweet lady. And she actually said, I am sorry my son did not listen to you. And I think she's Hispanic or something, and she was just, I don't know what their culture is, but she was really sad. She was almost crying because her son would not listen. And I'm like, oh, it's fine. I said, no big deal. He's a good kid. But she was more sorry for his behavior than the kid was. And I'm like, maybe this kid ought to be more sorry than the mother. So, totally different, guys. I did a video yesterday on how to deal with kids, and I actually said I wasn't going to go back to this one school because I didn't like how the teachers were screaming and yelling constantly, and I don't believe in it. And so I had shared my experience too today with, somebody and said, these kids are great. Every school I go to, they're great. But, my experience yesterday was just not good. And it wasn't the kids, it was the teachers. So, anyways, when you have kids who are well behaved guys and they have encouragement and they're good. My mother-in-law used to say, Melissa, your kids are good, they're well behaved, and they're happy. And if you get kids to that point where they're cared for and encouraged and happy and good, they are so enjoyable, guys. They know they know the boundaries, they know what they can do and what they can't do. They know where the lines are. You don't have to correct them every single minute. And you can enjoy your kids. They don't have to be brats. So I always felt like I would never have brats as kids. I said, I will never have a bratty kid, and I never did. And so set the standard as the leader, guys. It's okay to have high standards. Okay, thanks for joining me.